So the coolest thing about building your own home is that you get to pick your floor plan. So it's not like going to a big construction builder, like a corporate builder and saying, oh, I get to choose from 3 floor plans. Like
Right.
if you have some acreage like we do, even if you only have 1 acre, you could pick whatever you want, as long as it fits within the parameters of your lot. So I think really this was hard for us. We spent so much time looking, our evenings watching Braves games and looking at floor plans and trying to decide what we wanted. And it's just like the land, right? Like, what are your wants? What spaces do you want to have? And so really the options are buy one. There's tons online.
Right.
Or work with a designer or architect to have one custom made. I don't know the cost of having one custom made, but I know ours was, I think, around $1,300 or $1,500. I can't remember, but it was around that much. And this is a designer who she makes floor plans, so you can do customizations and you pay for it, but we went with one that she had that we really liked, but we could have saved some money on the floor plan. So talk about that, Mike.
Yeah, so when you're looking for floor plans, you're also looking for compromises in the design for saving money. So if you got all the money in the world, you don't care. Hey, I want a steeple, whatever. But we have things in construction that we call corners, and corners cost money. And you can argue with me all day long about that. But every time you turn a corner, a 90-degree corner, it costs money. The reason why is because every piece of concrete, every piece of drywall has to turn that corner with it. And then you also have to capture the roof load. I don't want to get all technical in it, but just remember, corners cost money. Your house is built from the top down. Everyone thinks it's built from the ground up. So your roof is another big thing. The more roof you have and the more crazy roofs you have, hips and valleys and things like that, that costs you material, labor, and it can really skyrocket a plan. So simplicity, as simple as you want it to be, or it can be as complex as you want it to be, but it will affect your budget. So it's very important. And then Megan talked a little bit about, do you buy a plan? I
want to touch on something real quick, because as a novice, Michael told me from the beginning, like, simpler is better, simpler is better. And I think that, you really see it when you get into it. Like, think about forming the slab or the basement. Every time you turn one of those corners, that's more work for not only the concrete person, but the framer, for, everybody involved. So if you think if you think about it and you're working with a rectangle, that's a lot easier than working with a rectangle that has a lot of indentations all the way around. And I think we, the layperson, don't think about it like the professional, which is everybody that comes into that house to do work on it is gonna have to do more finessing, or they're going to have more work to do when there's more corners and more details, right?
And I can give you an easy exercise. I actually had an old builder friend of mine tell me one time when we were talking about this, I said, why does that matter? And he goes, grab a piece of paper and draw a rectangle. Now draw a rectangle with jut outs and everything else. Which one takes longer? And that was, in my mind, was like, oh, wow, that makes sense. And then it's more complicated, but once again, you build a house from the roof down because of gravity. And so roofs have to hit a certain part of the ground, that weight does. And so every time you start putting corners or weird angles on a house, it can cost you money. So be aware of that when you're out there looking, if you're searching through Pinterest or any other type of place that has house plans.
Or even if you're going to design it yourself, because we talked about that, and in some cases I think maybe we should have, but this guy has drawn so many house plans over the years, we probably have a million to choose from. But I would say just draw a rectangle and then put all the spaces that you want inside of it, because that will save you money. And then work with a designer with those sketches or an architect to get it how you want it.
Yeah, I want to talk just a few seconds about that. So there's a bunch of different things you can do. You can draw it out on a napkin. that old saying, draw it out on a napkin. You can take that to what's called a designer, an architectural designer. They're not an architect, but they usually work with architects. And a lot of municipalities, most municipalities will require an architect's stamp. So they can design the house and get all your dimensions at a fraction of the cost of an architectural company or firm doing it.
And don't they usually like use software that does a lot of calculations?
Yeah, you can even buy software. There's tons. You can Google home builder software, and you'll get all kinds of options. But if you work with a designer, chances are they've run into things on house builds that you haven't, and they could maybe give you some direction and some advice there. So, hey, go to the professionals if you've never done it before, and really seek their advice and listen, because they may save you a ton of money, and they can also probably take that rectangle and fit everything inside that rectangle that you really want.
Yeah, there's certain things you don't want to skimp on, and that's the whole build, like the whole structure of your house is one that you do not want to skimp on. So,
exactly.
But yeah, we like ours. We compromised here and there, but I think we both have rooms and spaces that we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it's about. Is you're gonna live in this house for however long you live in it, so you want to. If you're custom building your house, you want to make sure that you're getting the things you need and the things you want, and then compromising out to within your budget the other things.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, tell us in the comments what, if you're building your house, did you find something online? Did you do some drawings yourself, or did you just work with an architect?
And also tell us what are things that you wouldn't compromise on.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's interesting.
With that, let's see. What did you compromise on?
I like our plan. I don't think I really compromised on much of anything on our plan. I mean,
what are you most excited about in our plan?
In our plan, I love the kitchen. I think the kitchen layout, it's going to have an island. It's more open than our last kitchen. I do a lot of the cooking.
All the cooking.
so I enjoy. I think the layout of the kitchen, which is very important, by the way. There's a lot to that. It's called a kitchen triangle when you're doing a plan. So you want to look into that. But if you're an amateur chef or you think you are, you want to. It's got to work for you. It's very important. So I used to tell people all the time, concentrate on the things that they have magazines about, kitchen and bath and landscape, and they do magazines about. Your guest bedroom, they usually don't do magazines about those.
Yeah.
So those are the things but I didn't compromise really on anything. What about you?
I don't think I did either. I got what I wanted, which is an office on the first floor so that the dogs can come and go and be part of the work day. I got a screen porch, which I cannot wait for. And yeah, I mean, I like I'm excited about the open floor plan. Yeah. So it's definitely more open than our last house, and I look forward to entertaining in it. So yeah, we'll see. Nothing's built yet, but hope we like it when we do get it built. We'll let you know.